Hey guys, Coach 2K back, another NBA2K MyLeague series video. In this video we're going to talk about how to build your playbook so you can run a more effective offense. And I'm going to tell you how I'm going to approach that in my MyLeague with my fictional players. New to the channel, click that subscribe button, click the bell to get notified whenever I upload any new episode so you don't miss a single one or any other NBA2K video I might release. So, also in the comments down there before I get started, just tell me in the comments, do you run plays, do you run freelance offenses, or just wing it and just try and figure out how to get a shot without running plays? And so if you got any tips too, be sure and put those in the comments as well for other guys that watch the video. They can look down there and see. You know, maybe you got some additional tips that I hadn't thought to bring up in my video. So we've been having trouble scoring, and when we have trouble scoring, we give up buckets in transition, and it just makes it that much harder to win the game. And so I got to figure out how to be more effective on offense so that you know, we can start winning some of these games. So you can find me here. I'm in scrimmage mode, working on plays, and so we're going to try and find the right plays for our team. And then we'll kind of try and work on running, you know, find out how to run them at the right time. Now, for years I've been a default playbook runner with my Pacers, and depending on the year, I've substituted plays, and other years I haven't. One of the problems with running with a real life team is I feel like I need to run it exactly like they run it in real life. Where at the fictional league, I got a little more leeway here to kind of, you know, figure out how I want to use the players the way that I think they might be most effective in the game. Now, the playbook is divided into 12 sections of types of plays. You have isolation plays, three-point plays, cutter plays, just to name a few of the categories. And within those categories, you have a library of plays that you can choose from. So there's a lot of plays. They've done a good job putting a lot of plays in there. Some of them are good, some of them aren't, and it just depends on your personnel sometimes, the defense that the other team is running. So there's a lot of factors in what makes a play good or bad. Now the guys over on Operation Sports who put together the Sim World roster for the Xbox One, they have gone through all the plays, so they've decided that some of them work and some of them don't. And so just to kind of reduce my job here a little bit, I've just said, okay, I'll just take their work and kind of expand upon it. So what I've done here is I went over to Operation Sports, and they put together a nice Google document that shows all about their setup for their roster. They take a lot of time. It looks like they do pretty nice work, although I haven't used the roster. And one of the sections of the Google document has the playbooks broken down basically by play type for plays that work and plays that they don't think work. Now, whether that's exactly true or not, I don't really know. I mean, like I said a minute ago, a lot goes into determining whether a play is effective or not, from your play style to whether it's just broken to whether, you know, the defensive setup that's being used against you, a play may or may not be effective. But just to kind of reduce the number of plays I'm going to look at, I decided to kind of opt with the plays that they think work. Now, if you're using another version of NBA 2K, the strategy is going to be the same. You'll just have a larger library of plays to choose from that you'll kind of have to sort through. Now, for those of you guys that have watched my videos for quite some time, you know I'm an older guy. I mean, I'm already over 50. So it takes me a little while longer to learn than maybe somebody who's a lot younger than I am. And so this is how I'm going to approach things. And maybe you can kind of adopt this to what you want to try. But there are 50 plays in the playbook, and there are 12 types of plays that you can add to the playbook. And I'm going to take two of those types of plays, specifically the mid-range plays and the pick and fade mid-range. And I'm not going to use those play types initially. And then I'm going to choose 5 plays of the other 10 types to give me my 50 base plays that I can start with. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to start working with these plays by play type. So I'm going to assign one play type to one specific player, usually starting with my best player because that's who I need to get open the most, and take that play into demo plays and see how the CPU runs it. Now, a lot of times it's comical because the CPU doesn't even really run the play very well in demo play mode. So I don't really take a lot of stock in that, and I won't do that a whole lot. And instead what I'll do is I'll start with these plays in scrimmage mode between my second unit, and I'll work with one specific play. And that's what I was doing at the beginning of the video here. You can kind of see me working with my first and second units basically to practice the play and see, you know, how the play works out, what the options are, and I'll just kind of experiment with whether the play runs effectively or not, and try different things while I'm running it. The goal here is to figure out whether that play works or not, and whether it works for me. And so once I've kind of experimented with the play enough, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a decision on whether I want to keep that play in my playbook. So let's say the first run through I do 3-point plays. I decide that I like one of them, but the other 4 I just can't seem to run effectively. Then I'll keep the 1 and add 4 more plays down the list for the 3-point plays and put them in my playbook and continue that process until I have all the 3-point plays I want, and so on. And so I'll do this in practice plays, I'll do this in scrimmage mode, and I'll do a lot of the work in the game. I think that's the best way to kind of learn the situation. You know, how the plays work in certain situations when a team is in a game situation. I think that's the best way to learn the plays, and so I'm going to do probably more of it there than I will probably when I'm in scrimmage mode. So you can see here I've set up the playbook with 5 plays from each of the categories. You see it says 50 on the right. 5 3-point plays. There's 15 pick and roll plays because there's 3 types of pick and rolls, and then the isolation, and so on down the list. So it'll take me a little time to kind of work through these particular plays to figure out which ones I like best and which ones I don't. And you know, whether you want to take this kind of in-depth look at your playbook or not, you know, I don't really know, but it's something that works for me. So I prefer this approach because it helps me learn my team a lot better, what it can and can't do, and it just kind of forces me to do my own research. And I think once you know your team better and what it's capable of, then you can put a much more effective offense out there. Now, once I've decided which plays I want in my playbook to practice, then I assign one particular play type I want to work with to a player, and then I only leave that one play type in there. That way it doesn't clutter my playbook, and I can go in there and just focus on one particular play type at a time, as opposed to trying to work on everything at one specific time. You can, once you've done that, then you can kind of assign your play types in the order you want them to be called. So like, let's say I like cutter plays, then I could use a cutter play as my number 1 play type. And within cutter plays, I could put the play that I like best in the cutter plays as number 1, and so on down the list to kind of organize. That's the best way we can organize plays at this particular time. And so like I showed at the beginning of the video, you can see me here just experimenting with different ways to run the play. And you know, there I got a wide open layup because of the way I took the angle to the screen, and those are the things you're going to learn here. And even though this play is actually for the juker, I end up scoring with Jedovic most of the time here, you know, and my point guard. So you'll learn those things by running the play, and then when you need a specific play, that helps you figure out what to do in the game situations when you see a defense. Alright, so I hope those tips help you out, give you some insight on what I'm trying to do with my players in my fictional MyLeague, so we can be a more effective team against some of these great players we're finding on the other teams. Alright, let me know in the comments what you think, how you approach plays, and hit that like button while you're here. I'm Coach 2K, and I'll see you on the court in the next video. Thanks for watching.